So we're here in Dartmouth's office, and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do here.
So my name is Dharmesh Mehta. I lead the Windows Live product management team, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Windows Live Messenger, and that coming out and us announcing it pretty soon.
Nice. And what can you tell us about Messenger?
So Messenger's a pretty big product. Messenger is today over 320 million people actively using it. Every day that goes by, they send about 10 billion instant messages between them. Spans a number of countries all around the world. Very actively engaged base, and you kind of look at all time online. Messenger users are about 9.5% of all time that's spent on the internet.
And what's the main thing that they use Messenger for? Are they doing like chats, or are they?
Yep. So today, Messenger is very focused on being a chat tool. It's real-time conversations. It's with your close friends. Generally text chat, sometimes voice and video, but that's kind of what the history of Messenger has all been about, those chats with your close friends.
And what's changed in the new version?
So in the new version, we're going to talk about, we're going to continue to be great for chat, and those kind of real-time conversations with your close friends. But the fact of the matter is you stay in touch with those people in a ton of different places, across social networks, across photo sharing sites, all over the internet. And we're going to talk about how we help you stay in touch with those same close friends all across the things you're doing on the internet.
Well, let's take a look.
All right, great. So let me start here with the new version of Messenger that's coming. So this is kind of Messenger that you're used to, right? You've got the slim list, you got a list of buddies, you can easily start a conversation. In our last release, we created this notion of favorites. Favorites are kind of your speed dial. They were your close friends, the people you care about most. Well, now this is a new Windows 7 PC, which means I've also got easy access to those favorites right here from the jump list in Windows. But like I was saying, these are your close friends. You often have multiple conversations going. They're often long conversations. So we just make it easy to have multiple of these. You've got tabbed conversations. You can easily carry on multiple chats at the same time. So let me go over here to my other account. So I'm chatting with my other PC. And let's talk again about those kind of real-time conversations. It's easy for me to have, how's it going? A pretty straightforward conversation. One of the cool things we're adding in this release of Messenger is we've had video chat for a bit, but how we go to HD video chat. So I'm going to start a video chat.
So this is going to be true HD?
This is going to be true HD.
So your LifeCam Cinema or HD 5000 will come into good use
come
here.
into good use here. So let's let these connect. And you're actually seeing us from two different angles. So you can do full screen HD chat.
Nice.
But one of the cool things about this new version of Messenger is the fact that you don't just do one thing at a time. Sometimes you want to chat, sometimes you want to share photos, sometimes you want to have a video chat. But normal human beings, especially Microsoft employees, we're multitasking all the time. So I'm just going to go over here, go into this folder. I've got some photos. I'm just going to drag those over into my conversation. And what you'll see happen is instantly I can start sharing those photos with a friend.
Very cool.
And if I click on a photo, we're both looking at the exact same photo. Well, I can see my friend, in this case my other self, and have a chat with that person. So again, just very rich, beautiful photo sharing while you see someone's face, while you can chat with them. And this isn't just photos. You could play a game, you could be watching a YouTube video, any of those things.
Yeah, so you could be doing a chat with a family member and just drag some family photos over and scroll through them and
Exactly.
drive the show.
This is perfect for those kind of long-distance relationships. You want to show your parents the pictures of their grandkids. Haven't seen a buddy in a long time. Maybe one of your college friends want to razz them as you play some games.
Nice.
So that's a bit about kind of how we make Messenger richer. Adding photos, videos, making those real-time conversations more and more meaningful, having the multiple chats so you can have multiple conversations at the same time. But as I was saying earlier, one of the big things is that people don't just chat in Messenger. They also use Facebook. They use Flickr. My friends might use WordPress, and they use Metroflog, and all these different sites across the internet. And the problem it creates is I've now got all these different accounts, all these different passwords with different friends in them with different updates. At the same time, my friends might use other sites, and that makes it hard for me because I might miss something interesting that my wife shared because she writes on WordPress. So the new thing we're going to do in Messenger, and this is actually where it gets really cool, is you go from kind of this normal, classic mode of Messenger that you're used to the new social mode of Messenger. So this, what you'll notice, you continue to have those friends, and here are my favorites again. And here are all these updates. And what you'll notice is there's normal Messenger updates, kind of someone's updated their status, but it's not just Messenger updates. You can see There are things people have posted from the web. There are updates from Twitter. There are updates from SkyDrive. There are updates from Facebook. All these different places all across the internet, all coming together. But the other thing Messenger did is it took those people that were my favorites, folks like Chris and Brian, and took their updates and put them up at the top. So I've got these beautiful views of photos, and let me find a album that's here. Or actually, here's a YouTube video. Colin shared one. And right in line, oh, it looks like YouTube's taking this video down. Colin must have shared something inappropriate. Let's try this one. And here's a movie trailer. And I could just watch that live right in Messenger. And I pause that. It seems to be rated R. And then you got photos. And so this is actually a photo album. And you can see this zooming in. JP's put up a bunch of panoramic photos.
So it's automatically playing through some of those photos?
It's automatically playing through, and not just if they're sitting on SkyDrive and Windows Live properties, but some of these could be up on Flickr or on Facebook, and same thing, we'll just pull those right in. Not only do you get those photos, but you actually get beautiful views to be able to see all these photos. So here's an album from a trip to Asia, and again, you can just see how we pull down all those photos in full high resolution, whether they're sitting in SkyDrive or Facebook or Flickr or any of those places. You've got all these photos. If there are people tags, actually this one doesn't have many people, but if there are people tags, all that comes down. You can instantly add a comment, it'll post right back, but just a much more fun and engaging way to see all your photos and videos. And the thing about Messenger is, first of all, I talked about how we're going to bring all those updates together. All my social networks, all the places I'm sharing things, but also the places my friends are sharing from. So even sites I don't use, so like my wife is using WordPress, I can see her WordPress updates. But again, it's not just about pulling that together, it's also letting you comment back. Chris apparently wants to be a favorite. We've already made it once, so we'll just say done. Chris knows it's done, and it instantly posts back, and you see how real time that is. But let's go back to those photos. And I've got, this is actually my buddy Lon's dog. Just drag that in. Let me talk about Lon's dog. Doesn't he look cute? Post that. And what it's going to do is right away, I can see my profile page. It's actually going to take that picture and share that right out with my friends. Actually, there it goes. Posted right to my network, gone out, and I could have even had that sync with Facebook or other sites.
Nice. So it doesn't just post to your Windows Live page.
Exactly.
You can have it post to Facebook.
You can have Messenger sync to places like Facebook or other sites on the internet if you want to keep your status kind of in sync across different places.
So Microsoft really seems to be embracing social networking.
Not just social networking, but even more broadly. Social networking, there's kind of your traditional, you go to Facebook, your MySpace, your LinkedIn, etc. But you don't just share in those places, right? You go to a bunch of photo sharing sites, you reviews, you go to places like Amazon and write comments and recommendations, and all that content is kind of getting lost all over the internet. Mm-hmm. And what we're really saying is, look, we're not trying to replace those things. It's great. We think it's wonderful that there's all these different sites out there, but we know you want to stay in touch with those close friends, and how do we make that easier for you?
So we leverage all those different places to bring that into one place.
Yep, we work well with them. And for folks like Facebook and Flickr, they love this too, because what they've done is hooked up their network to 320 million Messenger users and made it easier to find their content. For us, it's great because we continue to give our users a great way to stay in touch with their close friends.
So tell me about this panel that's on the right. What are those groupings of people?
So these are different groupings of people. They're categories of friends. So I've got, for instance, folks that work on Messenger. I've got other people on the Windows Live team. I have my Facebook friends. So I have all these different contacts, right? And you can see who's online, and you can see all the ways to interact with them. One of the things that's very cool is it's not just your ways to interact with them on Messenger, but so for instance, Pierre is a friend of mine on Messenger, so I can chat with him in video call and all those things. But he's also a Facebook friend of mine, and we've gone ahead, deduplicated all those contacts, and aggregated all the different ways to interact with him. So I could go view his photos. Pretty soon we'll have the ability to chat across Facebook, share photos, all those types of things.
So he may not even need to be on Messenger at all. You could still chat with him.
Yep. I mean, you kind of go down this list. What you can notice is the mass of friends, which are friends on Facebook, are just these people I've randomly met somewhere along the way. And for a lot of them, all I've got is Facebook interactions. Mm-hmm. Where you got those really meaningful conversations is with your close friends, those people you care about that you actually will get in touch with on Messenger. The other thing is you've got a bunch of filters. So like if I just want to see my favorites or see who's online, you got all those different ways to view those friends. And then the left side is all your social updates. And again, we've got this highlights view that really went and said, hey, let me bring all those updates together, and not just bring them together, but really prioritize them by those close friends, those people I've set are favorites. Then you've got filters like recent. Recent's just a pure chronologically based, just goes in the order of things happened. I can see my updates, things I've put up on the web, comments I've written, things I've shared. And then photos and videos that people have shared. Same thing, and there's a bunch more filters here, just status updates. So again, all the different ways that you might want to cut your social content. That we really think this highlights is where people will spend most of their time. Again, when you think about the average person on Facebook, the average Facebook user who has 500 friends actually only interacts with less than 10% of those friends in a typical month. Yeah. And there's only about 2 to 3% of those friends that you'll actually have a two-way conversation with. Again, there's lots of people you've met somewhere along the way, but there's that kind of small core of close friends, close family that you actually care about, want to share things with, want to see their updates, want to make sure you don't miss something important. And that's really where we focused with the new Messenger.
Very cool. What about avatars?
So there's a bunch of personalization you'll see here. So you got the display picture. One of the cool things you can do with a display picture is, of course, if you've got a webcam, you might want to just record, a little picture of yourself. Hey, this is me. Hey guys, we'll smile, take a picture, and that's my new display picture. Well, that's kind of cool. The other thing you can do is this dynamic picture, which is, hey, I can have different moods with, tied to different emoticons. So here's kind of, here's my normal self. So I'm right here, took a picture. Then there's a smiley one. So my happy mood, smile, take a picture. There's my winking, and I'm winking. And all these different moods. And what that lets me do is, let me save that. I'm going to go chat with someone. And while I'm having this chat, I can go, hey, how's it going? Now, while I'm doing this, watch my picture on the right. Let's say someone just told me a funny joke. And I smile. And it'll instantly just change my picture.
Cool.
I'll play around. It'll show me different things. The other thing you notice here in this is the what we call scenes. So up here was my scene. I've kind of set this actually the same as my Win 7 theme. It's the architecture. That's kind of another representation of myself. I've got my name, I've got my picture, and I've got my scene. My friend here also has a scene. And so what you see is while I'm chatting with them, I see their display picture, I see their name, I see their status update and their scene. Just another quick, cool little way you can personalize who you are.
So they see your theme?
Then they see my theme on their side. Yep.
Nice. So a lot of my friends, when we play games, we'll just have Messenger up, off to the side because, it's an easy way to chat when you're playing. What types of things are in Messenger now that allow you to do things like that?
Yep, so there's two big things we're doing. One is how we bring games into Messenger. So the same way we showed you sharing photos, sharing videos, we'll make it easy to pull in games to play with your friends. So you're sitting there in a chat conversation window and you can play anything from simple games like tic-tac-toe to much more complex games. But the second thing we're doing is we actually have a program called Messenger Connect. Messenger Connect lets any website or PC app say, hey, I want to bring Messenger into that app or into that website. So for instance, I might be up on a Spanish TV site, like think of Spanish MTV, and I'm up there watching TV, and all of a sudden I can see my Messenger friends right on that website. I can see chat, and I can start a conversation with them. Same thing with a game you might be playing on your PC.
So people probably want to know, when can they get their hands on this?
Messenger's coming soon. So we just announced it. We've been having thousands of people internally testing this code, pounding away on it. We're expanding that to a small set of folks externally, and then we'll be going into beta very shortly.
What's the best tip to get your hands on it as soon as possible?
The best thing you should do right now is go to messengerpreview.com. You can find a bunch of videos, screenshots, information, and as the download's available, it'll direct you right there.
Great. Well, thanks for showing us this today.
No, thank you.